Tinder profiles for instruments to see which is the best candidate to date. Here are the top 4 finalists: trumpet, violin, saxophone, and drummer. I'm going to take you through each profile and share what each one has to offer. Then at the end, I'm going to decide which one I would swipe right to. Before I get started with the first instrument, I want to share with you my dating requirements. Number 1, they have to be funny. I don't want someone who's boring. They have to be kind. That's just a normal thing. Caring. And above all else, they have to be loyal. Because we know that's rare in this day and age, which is really sad. But let's get started with the first instrument, the trumpet. As of right now, over 2,000 years old, so if you're into older men, this might be your person. Looking for short-term fun. To be honest, if I'm on Tinder, I'm looking for a relationship, not something short. Let's look at their about me though. Loud, confident, kind of into myself. First chair, first love. I like a cute little cheesy pickup line. Loves the spotlight. It was made for me. It's not looking too promising. Plays high notes to flex. Now, if you're reading through this about me, you can probably pick up on the ego of a trumpet. Why do trumpets have such big egos? Let me explain. I can say this, I am a trumpet, so everything I'm about to say is true. In a lot of songs, trumpets have the melody. Because we have the melody, we believe that we're the most important part of the band, and that they could not live without us. And what even is a band without a trumpet? What they don't realize is the melody is only good because of the rest of the band backing it up. I understand that. I'm not an ego trumpet, but I know that most trumpets are. Their red flags are that they will talk about being the best part of a relationship. Again, that goes back to the ego and thinking that the melody by itself would sound good, aka it doesn't. And I think that's how they believe a relationship is too. That they're gonna be amazing and awesome, you're just kind of there supporting them and don't really matter. Kind of a big red flag. I don't know if it's overseeable, but let's see the other candidates first. The violin is only 500 years old, which is a step down from the trumpet. They are also looking for short term, but they are open to long term, which I just think it's gonna have to be the perfect person to get them to long term. But let's read the about me and see what else. A little high strung, passionate and expressive, looking for someone who can handle high notes and high standards. Honestly, I think this profile makes perfect sense. Violinists are very passionate about their music and they are really, really dramatic when they're playing. So I think that they would love really, really hard and really want to take care of you, just like they have to take care of their violin and their bow strings and everything else. It's a lot of time, a lot of technical little details that I think they would pay attention to, especially in the relationship. Their red flag is that they might be a touch dramatic when things don't go their way. Violinists tend to be perfectionists. If you've ever met a perfectionist, I'm one. When things don't go our way, it gets really frustrating and can be really upsetting, and we don't know how to handle that. But I don't think that's necessarily too much of a red flag. The hardest part of dating a violinist would be trying to meet those high standards that they have set, and feeling that you have to be perfect. Let's look at the saxophone now. The saxophone is probably our youngest candidate yet, only 178 years old, which is still really old. They're looking for new friends. I would much rather take looking for new friends than something short term. In their about me, they have pretty basic things. They love jazz, know how to set the mood, looking for someone who can just go with the flow. If you've never met a saxophonist, you definitely should because they're super chill and low key. They're down for whatever. And I think that kind of plays into why they choose the saxophone as their instrument to play, because it's a lot of fluidity and smoothness, which is what the saxophone is known for. Their red flag is that they will play careless whisper at inappropriate times. Careless Whisper is the one and only pop song that everyone knows the saxophone solo to, and it's actually really funny. One of my friends who played the saxophone in band, when we were playing The Incredibles once, had a solo, and instead of playing what he was supposed to, he ended up playing Careless Whisper, and it had the whole band cracking up. It's one of my favorite memories. And because he's saxophonist, everyone goes with the flow, everyone just went with it. So honestly, a pretty good pick here, especially if you're just looking for some friends. Last but not least, we have the drums. Now, I'm not really sure how old drums are, but I know that they're the oldest. They're also looking for someone long-term, which is very ideal on a dating app. In their about me, they have too much energy, but will devote it all to you, which I think is cute, and they are very, very loyal people. And they're looking for someone to be on the same tempo and rhythm in life. Seems pretty ideal, especially for a long term. Their red flags are they cannot sit still. The instrument of the drummers is to use sticks and hit things, whether that be drums, bells, or even triangles. So there really isn't a limit to their instrument capacity. Like, I can't just go play the piano anywhere. However, drummers can, and they will drum on anything and everything. Now, that could be a little bit annoying, but maybe something to grow into, or you teach them how to not. So far, the drummer has kind of been my favorite candidate. The instrument that I would swipe right on would be the drums. They're super spontaneous, which means fun. They would go out and do things. They are super energetic and caring because they're going to devote all of that energy to you. And now, although they might not be able to sit still, that's something that I can learn to live with. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see what the other instrument dating profiles were, let me know in the comments and maybe we'll make a part 2. See you guys next time.